Alright, to start with the espresso machine, first we want to turn it on. Hold this for about 4 seconds. And it'll start moving the water over. And then, with the espresso thing here, do not mess with this knob or mess with any of these settings because they are set to be what we need. And once this boils up, so how to do this, set it in just like so, and then press down and it'll start to pour out the grounds. Make sure you move it back and forth so you don't overpile the coffee grounds at all. Set it down on the mat, grab the tamper, 90-degree angle with your arm, and just press down with a slight force just to get it evened out. And then you would want to run over here, grab a towel, wipe off any extra grounds that are on the edge because we do not want that to be in with this part right here. You don't want it to be up in that. That will cause it to not flow perfectly. And then, oh yeah, forgot. So when you turn it on, you want to make sure you press the boiler button. Oh no, you want it to be flashing, my bad. You want the boiler to be flashing because then it's going to start moving water over and start building up the pressure. Here are the pressure gauges right here. This is the one you want to watch. Once this builds up to 135, that's max pressure. If it goes beyond that, you'll risk of the machine exploding. So you want it within the green, preferably at the 135. And so far we're just gonna wait for this to heat up. And then Chef Jay should have this plugged in before any coffee shops, just so it's, you don't waste any time having to wait for it to warm up. That's just confusing because that one pressure's not building up at all. And then once you know the machine is ready to start brewing, these numbers here, the 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, once these are solid, that means the water's up to temp. And then, okay, well, I guess while I wait for this to do that, to add water to the machine, it's already filled up, but to add water to the machine, you take the tray off and slide this out. And then don't want it to pull out all the way because it might be a pain to fill back up. I'd say maybe filling up the pitcher about halfway, maybe just over halfway, will fill this up to what you need it to. And then put it in, just like so. And then with the tray, make sure it clicks. That is a big thing, make sure it clicks. And with the tray, there's like little notches right here. Make sure these line up with the holes. So there's one on each side. Make sure they line up with this hole and this hole before you press down and push back, or else you'll get a water leakage behind the machine. Might have to maneuver it a little bit. Okay, so as you can see, the water is up to temp here. So then we're ready to put this in sideways, and then move it over, and then pressing it. Oops, the wheels are not locked. Press against the machine and just pull this way to get this lashed into place. Let me get the wheels locked. Okay. And then for easy measurements, because so with a 12 ounce, you want 4 ounces of coffee or espresso. So preferably we use this cup, and then let me just angle it. I just have a scale here just so that way you can measure it. These can be found in any of the drawers in the kitchen, and then this one specifically is found in Chef Jay's demo table. So then put it down. It's gonna measure to the 685. Press the tare so you zero it out. So this basically is your zero. So there's nothing technically on the scale at the moment. Put this under and then press the double shot, and this will start brewing it through. You're gonna do the brewing process roughly 3 to 4 times for a 12 ounce, just because you're looking for 4 ounces of espresso. So I'm gonna do it twice. I'm gonna weigh it just so I know how much more I probably need to do. Okay, is this hot? Okay, it is hot. I don't know why that. Okay, so I did it twice, and now it's going to weigh 2.8 ounces. So I'm gonna do it a third time just to see if that gets to the 4 or if that's going to be too little. Okay, this should be now your 4 ounces. Okay, so we're over, we got up to 4.6 ounces, which is fine. Just don't use the whole cup then, because you do want the 4 ounces, because when you add in your milk and the creamer, it is going to end up overflowing your cup. So you do want to use 4 ounces exact. The milk and creamer, there is a sticky note on the side in case you ever forget the measurements. So 12 ounces, 4 ounces of milk along with 2.2 ounces of creamer, and that is weighing out the glass cup and then the 2-ounce silver cups. So if you're doing cold coffees at all, it's basically the same tools. So it's all weighed out for everyone to use. So because this is 4.6, we're going to dump this out just a little bit to get to the 4. It's probably going to be a bit less. So I got 3.8. So just, if you're over, don't pour out much, or just don't use all of it, but keep a little bit in there. All right, so then with a 16 ounce, you're looking for 6 ounces of espresso. So because I just poured it out, probably shouldn't have done that. We're gonna press the button one more time. And this should hopefully get us to the 6 ounces that we are looking for. I might have to do one more just because I poured it out. All right, let's weigh it. So I'm at 5.3. I was 0.6 over, so I would be almost dead on right now. So about 4 times for a 16 ounce, 3 times for a 12 ounce. Again, this varies depending on how much water flow you have going through the espresso. Because sometimes you could have a strong flow, sometimes you could have a weak flow. And it's all, you can tell because of the stream. If it's one continuous stream, you have a strong flow. But if you have like 3 streams coming out of it, you have a weak flow. So you're probably gonna have to do 4, but it's always just safe to double check your measurement so that way you are not going over. Okay, so then that's maxed out. So that's for 16 ounce, but again, I did an extra one, so from the 12 ounce. All right, so as you can see, the pressure here is at the 135. So we do not want that to go into the red, but I've never seen it go into the red yet, and I've had the machine on for a while, so it's just a precaution to not leave the machine on. So what that means is this boiler light, it's now solid red, which means the steamer is ready to go. If I grab the big one, our big cup, and put it in there, or actually let me get some water in it first. I don't spray it everywhere. So if I get some water in the cup, bring it over and put it under, it's going to start releasing steam very quickly. and just pull the lever up. It doesn't matter, there is no speed, so if you do the lever up just slightly, it's going to release at the same speed as if you did it all the way. Alright, so say you're looking through the orders and you see you have 5 caramel macchiatos for say. You would want to use this cup, and you would want to use, so say it's all 12-ounce caramel macchiatos. So then you would put in, so how much did I say, 5? And you're doing 12-ounce. So you have 20 ounces of milk in here, and then 11 ounces of creamer. And then you put it all in here, and then you would steam it up to, do I have it written on here? No, I don't. So preferably about 110 degrees, because it steams up so fast, is when you want to start your frothing stage. Because, so, if you do it before that, you'll over steam, and then it'll start overflowing out of the cup. And I've only had issues with that with the smaller one, just because I was doing like single. So when you do the single, you don't want to start moving it up and down to start frothing it until about 120. So if you do the big one, it's 110, just because it's a bigger cup, you have bigger volume, doesn't take as long. If you're doing the smaller cup, 120, and then you start the foaming process. I will go show that real quick. I gotta go get the milk and the creamer ready. So, the best way to do that, wipe off this if there's any coffee on it. And then, so since I'm only doing one example, I'm not gonna do like a batch, I'm using this small cup. So put it on the scale, zero it out, and then go get the milk and a creamer. I'm just gonna do my example, caramel macchiato. So open up this, grab the milk, make sure it is good and not expired. Do we have caramel? Get rid of. So then what you want to do, since I'm doing it, I guess now I'm doing a 16 ounce. Make sure this is always zeroed up before you pour anything, and it'll mess up your measurements. So then, because I'm doing a 16 ounce, it's going to be 6 ounces of milk. You can pour fast, but once you get to about 5 ounces, you want to stop and start pouring a bit slow. And the scale does take some time to update, so do just little pours at a time, because you don't want to go over. And if you go over at all, you want to cut back then on your creamer. It's going to be like 0.05 of an ounce, so it's really not going to be that big of an issue. Ooh, oh, this is unopened. I'm going to see if there's an open one. There's pumpkin spice, French vanilla. Alright. I don't want to open up this if I don't have to, so I'm going to use the French vanilla instead, which is basically just a normal mocha. So then, so my scale right now is at 6.10, and I need 4.4 ounces of creamer. So because my scale is 0.10 over, I'm going to do 4.3 ounces of creamer. So then my total weight for a 16 ounce should be 10.4. If it's going to be a 12 ounce, it should be 6.2. Okay, I'm at 10.4. So now my milk and creamer is ready to get steamed. Can't forget the thermometer. I don't want to use this one because this one's going to take a while to update. I'm going to go see that we have digital ones. Preferably use a digital one because it gives you like fast, accurate readings. As in that one's going to take a while. Okay. This one should work. And just to be safe, always wash off your thermometers before using it. Because I'm doing a test, I'm not going to do that for now. So turn it on. You can see, oh, why is it in Celsius? Because right now it's at 42 degrees Fahrenheit. Put this in, let it steam up. Just move it around. Don't fully do the frothing stage yet. Right now it's currently at 75 degrees, so it warms up fairly quick. We're at 98, 105, 111, 117. I'm only at 120, so I'm going to start my frothing. And I'm already at 137. So it didn't take long at all to get to the 135 that you were looking for. And then so far that is it. And then since I'm doing a 16 ounce, what you're going to want to grab is the 16 ounce cup. Oh, where are those? Right here. That's right, I was doing them. Yeah. So because I was doing a mocha, you would do a chocolate drizzle underneath with the espresso in there first. Just like that. So that should take about roughly just under a half of your cup. And then, so once you, oh, that's right, once you froth it, you want to hit it on the table to separate the bubbles from the creamer and milk. You want to use a spoon. There should be one at the station. If not, they're just over there in the bistro cabinet. Then you want to hold it over the nozzle, but not fully, because you do want it to flow somewhat quick, or else you'll get a mess all over the counter. So block it, but not fully. See right there, I somewhat fully blocked it and it got all over the scale. Don't want to pour too fast either, because it will overfill as well. So then once you pour all of the liquid out, you should still have a decent amount of foam left. This is all foam, so like once you start doing latte and you start doing latte art, if you're in Culinary 3, this is what you're going to use for it. This will just lay on top and it'll give it the white latte art aesthetic. I'm not good at latte art, so I'm not even going to try it. So then yes, so we have our coffee here, we have the spillage here, the scale, the espresso mug. And then once you're done brewing your coffee, hold the boiler once it's on for 10 seconds to turn it off. And then the light will turn off. And then to turn off the machine, hold the power button for 10 seconds as well. And you'll see that everything will shut off and the light will start flashing. So right now, the machine is currently off. It should not be building any more pressure. If it ends up being the end of the night, or not end of the night, end of the class, and there's still a bunch of pressure in the machine, just fill this up with water just slightly. Like about halfway, just so you don't cause a bunch of spillage and spray everywhere. Just put this in here. This will also help clean off this nozzle, because you want to make sure that is clean. So I'm going to fill this up more. So I guess about almost full, just because you'll put it in there and then it will help clean off the steamer wand. You just want to turn that on to help release the extra pressure that's built up in the machine. As you can see, even though it's off, it's still releasing a lot of pressure. And if we look at the machine here, see how the pressure is down in the blue, it's almost at zero. That means there's no pressure being built up in the machine, but it's still releasing it. If you can hear it, the machine is starting to slow down a little bit, meaning that the pressure is finally almost out of the machine. There's a little bit of pressure left in it. Now all the pressure's out, and that's just a safe way to make sure that you have no pressure in the machine. And an ice machine should not be this far over. But that is how you run the espresso machine. If you have any questions, contact Chef J, and then she'll try to get a hold of me if it's within the 26 or 25-26 school year. But anytime after that, it is up to Chef J to help you guys out, because I have shown you the basics. Thanks. Alright, one thing I forgot is how to clean up the wand. That is my bad. I just forgot to do that. So you want to hold this side of the machine out to get it out easily, and you just pull back towards you. And see how all these extra coffee grains? Find this bucket, and you just want to hit it against this side. And that'll help get most of the grounds out. Make sure you do run this underwater to help get the extra grains out. And that is how you clean out your wand, and then make sure that this is always dried before grinding more espresso beans.